Okay, hi guys. Here we go. Once again, it's now Friday night. We always look forward to Friday night, and it's 9 o'clock. It's July 24th, the year of our Lord 2026, and I've set up a few things here. It's true. The other guy, wait, who we got? Ricky. Well, that was quick.
It's written 3 other books.
Quickie Ricky. Quickie Ricky. Well, this is causing me to throw out my agenda. All right. Whenever
It
he
is of
gets here.
relevance to state that the mafia's mind-controlled people during their programming receive base foundational programming, which ensures that the Illuminati main ultimate control supersedes the mafia's control over these people. So the mafia and the Illuminati are...
Excuse me. Okay, well, I can see that DJ Ricky is warming up there.
Surprised to learn that the Illuminati have
oh, guys, there's so much going on here.
I'll just read you this.
Bad news.
Oh, I'm here. Hold on.
Yes.
Witchcraft.
I'm sure you have a good excuse.
There we go. What's up, Court?
Oh, well, the world is blowing up. But there's some good news. So.
Do you like my little pre-show for you there?
Yes, the mafia and the Illuminati. There's a connection I never.
Oh man! Well, it brings us to the Gemstone files, which were before the Epstein files, and I know you've been interested because this all explains Jack Kennedy and all the mob and everything else. And I know you want to get into that one day.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of people have long. All right. Originally, as the conspiracy theorists began to get traction, there were three broad groups, right? Cuba, the mafia, and the CIA.
Yeah, I do have hair. I just wear a hat because it's so much easier to keep my freaking. It's a mess all the time.
All right. So those were the original three. Okay. Later, we started talking about the Hunt brothers and their involvement. And I would say there was a much more detailed accounting of how the Hunt brothers were probably involved in Kennedy's assassination. Later, after that, then we get the other version of how Kennedy was assassinated. That would be the what should I call it? The grill plate method.
I don't know. Irene's making a whole lot of noise back there. It's distracting me. I'm listening to you, but it's hard. It's just so loud.
It's true.
It's like, I'm squelching you. I'm squelching you.
Well, that's not what people who do ultrasonics are supposed to do.
No. All right. So what were you saying now?
All right. So I'm trying to put together what I think is my timeline of the different ideas that were used to explain the Kennedy assassination.
Yep. Hold on. I got notes.
Okay. Oh, you got notes. Well, I'm sure we got more to add. All of a sudden, we're just skittering off into this time-worn, but apparently always popular subject. When we got the world blowing up in Iran, we got to go back to the JFK assassination. Seriously, dude. Anyway.
Well, they're all related. It all comes around 360 degrees, Court.
Well, from where we sit, we like to believe
it's the same game, just some different names and different faces.
Okay, is Prime Minister Xi a member of the Illuminati?
I don't know. Who the heck is that?
Who's Xi? The guy who runs China?
I said he. It sounded like a she.
Yeah, it's XI, but they say trying to sound.
Oh, listen. They use that part of the world as an experiment for their camera surveillance. And what do you see what's happening right now out in Connecticut? Everyone's ripping those cameras down and they're like, enough is enough.
In Connecticut?
Yes.
Where?
Milford just had 3 of them just ripped right out of the ground.
Right. All right.
Okay. And the police are like, oh, this is terrorism. Ooh! And I'm cracking up. Go, no, none of us voted for this crud.
Okay, note to the police, consider yourself lucky.
Yeah, well, I got a police badge on my truck, and they still sent me a ticket on the speed cameras, too. And don't worry, somebody already took one of the speed cameras down in Milford, too. They went right up there and smashed it with a hammer.
That's all, huh? All right.
Listen, when you start allowing all these cameras, you are putting yourself into a surveillance state. We're not prisoners. We're not animals.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I know I'm a little loud, but I don't know even how I just segued from Kennedy to the cameras, but it's all related.
I see. So it's related to
one of the craziest things I ever thought.
Yeah.
When I was looking into 9/11,
Yeah.
I ran into a thing that said JFK to 9/11. I said, what does JFK have anything to do with this? And then it took me to the sinking of the Titanic. I said, what the hell does the Titanic have to do with any of this?
Okay.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
You found out, yes. Yes.
Because it took me to the bankers.
Well, here, let's put in another connection. What was done with the Titanic is remarkably similar to the mindset of what was done to Flight 800.
What, hon? Oh, I don't know if she's talking to me or if she's on the. Are you on the phone? Are you talking to me? Yeah, no, I'm talking to Donna. Oh, you're on the phone. Okay.
All right.
My wife, if you've been married a long time, you'll know this one. My wife tries to talk to me from 2 levels higher than where I am right now, and then all the way on the far side of the house go, hey, hon! Hey, hon! Hey! Can you hear me over there?
No. You all right? No, I was about to say that you're well trained, but that's another matter. Right. All right, so let me get to the thing I was trying to convey here. So the other idea, Eric is here. Okay.
Hello, Eric.
All right, hold on. Okay, Eric, yo. How you doing? All right, so it didn't take long for DJ Ricky to drag me down into the JFK stuff. So let me just share with you, there is this other belief, and there might be some evidence, that the way in which Kennedy got shot was that there was I'm not sure what to call it, a sewer grate, a drain water grate on the road.
Yeah. There was, he was shot from 7 different ways. And yes, one of them was from there. And then you had the driver. And then you had the other guys.
That's right. That's right.
And
hold on.
A guy named David Sheen guaranteed that they would ensure that they would say that Oswald will be the lone killer. You look up these names.
Can we all agree just on one thing?
Go for it.
Kennedy was shot.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's it. Okay. There you go. Right.
I think you're on firm ground.
He was shot by different.
I don't. You know what?
They showed the one where the driver was shooting.
I don't know that we'll ever know. We just know that he was shot.
No, we got some names. We got Bruce Roberts. We got David Sheen. Like, we got some names. I mean, like back then you couldn't say this stuff because they were still alive and they're all part of the mob. Jack Ruby gave up all the information because he was on death row. He said, well, I'm well connected. And
not for long.
Yeah, and then they had him on death row, and he said, well, hey, I'll you know what, if you're going to kill me, I'm going to give up all the information. And it's all out there.
Yeah, it's called where did that cancer come from?
Well, at least those of us that know how to do research can find it. I don't know if the average many can find us, but
yeah.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have DJ Ricky Smith here on WCFR Connecticut Free Radio District 4. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, God, that NPR tone of voice, I hate that. Come on. Sound like a true American, please. Not some silver-tongued devil of a liberal.
You guys were entertaining to listen to while I was backing up the show. By the way, Eric, the shows that I'm doing aren't just like, one bass band, one speaker on a pole. These are festival shows. We gotta.
So you probably have like.
We don't do the line arrays. We do the big.
You don't have the. You don't have the line arrays like.
No, we're doing stack grounding.
Okay.
That's reliability.
That's a lot of freaking work.
Yeah, that's why I cracked up when you said, "Oh, well, he's only in Durham." Like, it takes us 2 hours to pack up. I just put on the phone and was listening on the table as we were taking everything down, winding all the cables, and loading everything back into the trailers.
Yeah.
There you
I'm like,
go.
I gotta explain to Eric, these shows on the green are pretty heavily it's a lot of gear. It's a lot more gear than just doing like a bar thing where you got like one bass bin, a stick, and a pole, and something on
So what do
top.
you think about like any of, I understand like a lot of the old and this actually happened during COVID when a lot of the theaters shut down, and I've been finding a lot of the old JBL cinema systems for sale, like a stereo cabinet and a bass bin, like trio with a horn, and that has the real horns on it and stuff. And I understand if yeah,
Oh, you mean like woofers?
no, they're
No,
tweeters.
no. He's talking the horns on the top.
Yeah, the high frequency horns, right? So,
Right.
um, I'm just wondering, like, do you like Carver amps? Are Carvers good? Or wait a minute, what about
Well, it depends on what you're doing.
what-
Carver's more of
what about
definitely a theater amp, but like the stuff I'm using,
what about
I'm using like
Crown?
Crown is okay. The old Crowns, but they're heavy as heck. I don't know about the new Crowns right now. Recently, I've been just using all QSC PA. Like I'll use like for my bass bins, I have PLX. No, not PLX. What is it? PL 380. So it's 8,000 watts
Right.
per amp.
So what are you getting? Like about 5, 8, 5, 7, 8 grand a show, or
No, I wish I was getting that. Being a sound tech and sound guy, we get treated the worst and do the most. We're there the most amount of hours.
right?
There's no money in it. I do it because it's fun bringing people together,
That's great.
and it's really cool to see 400 people who don't know each other all get together and then enjoy themselves all together.
Mm-hmm. Probably makes some new friends.
Yeah, you never know.
Anyway, should I jump in with Iran?
No, not yet.
Oh,
I want
not
to go to
yet.
your
Okay.
schooling.
Schooling? What
Oh
schooling?
yeah, there was a couple things I wanna get out there just in case you have not said this.
Okay. Go
All
ahead.
right, so all of the school books that the children have had, who was the publisher?
I don't think there's any one publisher, but there's a certain
Who was the biggest one?
small group of dominant publishers.
McGraw, ring a bell?
Oh, yes.
Sure, McGraw Hill. Sure, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My least favorite
And
I know where he's going with.
oh,
it.
you know where I'm going with this? You know about Max.
I've heard it all. I've heard it all.
So the guy that was behind this is the father of Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Maxwell.
Yep.
Wait, hold it. Maxwell, there's Macmillan Publishing.
No, it was McGraw Hill.
Wait, are you telling me that Maxwell owned McGraw Hill?
I'm almost positive on this one.
I double check that. No, I mean,
But
the breath
either which way,
McGraw Hill.
you
No.
were getting all your information from a Mossad agent. Bingo. And check this out. It's all connected. Remember your school pictures? I don't know how old you are, Eric. But remember, they lined the class up and everybody had to have their individual pictures taken year by year when you were a child.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Man, that was a nice little catalog for those pedophiles, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. That's right. Yeah. I mean, now that
I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. More reason why to educate your children.
I don't know that. I mean, that was the primary, like, motive behind doing that. But it, certainly, people who aren't thinking clearly or just have like ulterior motives and stuff like that would use, yearbooks and stuff like that probably for.
Yeah, I'm just saying it was the first Facebook before there was Facebook.
Sure.
Not as easy to manipulate information.
Yeah. All right. That was the analog version of Facebook.
All right. Well, since you brought up,
All right. Court,
since
the floor is yours. I'm going to just sit back here and listen, and I'll make comments as I feel as they're needed.
I'm just going to say, since you brought up educational publishers, I have a few words on the subject. So, in my many years as a biotech analyst, I would refer to a number of reference works produced by various publishers. Wiley, Van Nostrand, McGraw-Hill, and then there was one other, Otto, I think, which was specialized in chemistry. And the quality of the information from publisher to publisher was very obvious. And of all the names that I just mentioned, the one that did the lousiest job was McGraw-Hill. They left more information out. They didn't explain things as well as the other publishers did.
I always laughed that the teachers needed a teacher's edition for the answers.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess that
because they weren't teachers. They were parents repeating for $1.
No, they didn't know shit, right? So,
no.
So the teacher's edition was basically the cheat sheet, right?
Here's the answers to the book. Yeah. I don't need to say anymore. I think it's pretty easy to see what I just said there.
Oh, God. Anyway.
I'll be quiet.
All right. So just to rattle through this here. So I am going to want to talk about Iran. I am going to have to bring up Epstein again because of something Eric just sent me. I need to talk about J.D. Vance and the other thing Eric sent about teaching communism. So we'll get through all this.
Good topics. I can't wait. Let's get into this, guys.
All right, well, let's deal with Iran first because, you know, it's amazing all the stuff that is going on here. Okay, so this is just a list of stuff that's hit us just today. So, Eric, have you heard about the canceled flights?
No.
Yes, so a number of airlines are canceling their flights to UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, because it's getting too dangerous.
Interesting.
Right. And remember, yesterday there was the announcement that Germany and Britain were calling home their diplomat staff that are in Tehran. Okay, so the diplomats are leaving, flights are being canceled. Things are slowly falling apart. When we get to China, it gets really interesting. So then there's been multiple Iranian drone attacks. It hasn't been talked about that much, but the Iranians have been using like hundreds of drones at a time in order to overwhelm targets, American targets. They attacked Bahrain, and Bahrain attacked back. Okay, and all right. So now the other thing is there was a clip showing how the Iranians are putting their missile launchers in civilian areas, like in your schools. So that shows how little they care. They want to try and use these people as human shields. And here's the one. This is the one that should give us pause. China admits it's sending Chinese personnel to Iran to help fight America. They made it.
They trained in Canada.
Yeah, wait. China admits it's helping who?
Sending Chinese personnel
to fight against
Iran, but to help Iran fight America. Okay, wow. So this was a public announcement. All right. I mean, you could say they were doing it sneakily without admitting to it, but now they've stated publicly, yes, this is what we're doing.
Oh, yeah, right. So I heard that about a day or two ago that China has entered the fray of the hot war. And then I brought this up and you kind of gave me that look of like utter disbelief. But yes, I've heard about this, that Russia, now we're fighting Russia and China and Iran.
Well, I didn't know we were fighting Russia.
Well, in the sense that, I mean, there's the claim that Russia has been providing what we'll call high-level intelligence information to help with targeting of American facilities. So that's why the Iranians have been doing a pretty good job of hitting American bases. Russia's giving them the information because they got satellites, all right?
Sure.
Just like China. All right, so now the interesting point, though, to consider here is that the primary concern that China has about what's happening to Iran is if Iran becomes free, it's going to make China look bad.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I would. Well, you have to think. You have to think like the communists. Okay. If you have somebody who's supposedly a proxy, an ally, and somebody who's working with you, and you lose them to the quote forces of freedom, that's not going to make you look good. It's going to make you
Right.
look like a loser. You know, in China,
Well, here's an article. It says China is already inside the house.
which house is that?
Well,
In
that's
all
the
the
title
houses.
of the article. It says China has handed itself the personal files of 220 million American voters.
Yeah.
Names, addresses, phone numbers, party affiliation, everything needed to profile you, target you, and mess with elections from the
Yes.
other side of the Pacific.
Sure.
Right from the grave of
Uh,
Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I think that you know, this is why I continue to say that we cannot vote our way out of this mess. We just can't.
All right. Well, that China is messing around with us is a bad thing, but it gets worse. And I will get to the worst. I didn't put it up. There was this interview with Alex Jones, this guy named, darn it, why am I drawing a blank on his name? He's this wannabe guy. Here, hold on. Patrick Byrne. Does the name Patrick Byrne mean anything to you? Yeah.
I'm even gonna look at it as you said.
To go back in time in the early days of the internet, there was a website called Overstock. Does anybody remember overstock.com?
Yes, I do. The big red O.
Yeah, so that was Patrick Byrne's company. Well, things didn't work out. Patrick kind of disappeared. However, he keeps resurfacing, this guy who's trying to get into the room with everybody else, whether it's election fraud or something else. So in this case, what he's done is he's grabbed some of the documents that that DNI is releasing concerning election fraud, and he's focused on Venezuela. Okay, and it gets a little confusing there because there are 3 or 4, what would I want to call them, transformations of the companies that are. I mean, we know about Smartmatic, we know about Dominion. Okay. What we don't know is that.
Well, could I say that this kind of vindicates what's her name? Sidney
Linda?
Powell. No, Sidney Powell.
Oh yeah, sure. I agree. Yeah. So no, I mean these people who did these things in in 2020 were, they're on it, but because they were over the target, they were attacked viciously. And they didn't. Some of them didn't make it very well, including her. So in any event, yeah, I wish I'd put up the link for this. So it's a recent interview. Alex Jones, Patrick Byrne. We talk about a bunch of things, but he devotes about 5 or 10 minutes to explaining how these machines are used. And the problem for people is when you get down to these voting machines, it gets complicated. Okay, because you're dealing with the computers, you're dealing with the software, you're dealing with the networking systems, you're dealing with how they communicate. I'm going to say it internationally, and keeping track of all of that becomes kind of difficult. All right, and that doesn't take away from the fact that we're over the target, and this is how things have been done. All right, but you just have to accept it takes a lot of effort to really understand all the parts.
Well, I mean, apparently it wasn't that hard to uncover the fact that the voting tallies were getting funneled, to other areas other than the United States. They figured that out, and then they figured out that the voting tallies were corrupted, and now of course you have the again, it comes back to somebody who is a computer engineer, architect, understands all of the, the protocols between, for example, the BIOS and firmware inside the machine versus the
Yeah.
versus the software, that's layered on top of that. So you have, layers of stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's all ones and zeros, and they're either in. But I guess computers don't necessarily lie, but people can configure or corrupt systems so that they do things that they shouldn't be doing. And I think we've been finding this out, particularly with like a lot of the dirty voter rolls that are now beginning to surface. And I think this whole idea that all of these dead people and illegal people that have been voting is now becoming it's taken, I don't know how long, literally decades for this issue to become front and center. Yankee T News was covering this stuff, over 10 years ago, with Bridgeport, and Bridgeport has Bridgeport has continued to be it just continues to be a problem. And like Fazio never talks about it. Ned Lamont never talks. The Democrats don't talk about. Well, clearly the Democrats aren't going to talk about it, but even the Republicans don't ever talk about it.
Yes,
it's just like the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about for whatever reason. But I think part of the reason that it's not talked about is because it's a huge voting block, and because it sways elections in one direction or other. So
what sways the election?
The population of Bridgeport.
Okay, but
it's Fairfield County.
Yeah, understood.
So is Danbury.
All right. Well, the point is still
Danbury, Fairfield County.
Yes, it is.
I thought it was.
Yeah, it is.
Danbury, Ridgefield, Monroe.
Okay.
I think that was Litchfield County out there.
No, what's confusing is that Danbury is in the 5th district of the congressional district, but it's still in Fairfield County. Most of the 4th district is Fairfield County, but there are exceptions.
Right, and the 5th district is the district that Jonathan DeBarros is seeking to unseat Johanna Hayes.
Yep.
The 4th district is Jim Himes, the incumbent, and Jim Himes hasn't even brought it up, and he's always,
that's interesting. That is interesting. It would be for a guy like him, such a partisan hack. This is a golden opportunity to ridicule the Republicans for believing something that's nonsense in his eyes, and he hasn't even done that. That's right.
Yep. And did you hear the latest? Apparently, I believe, I haven't watched the whole debate between Ned Lamont and Josh Elliott, the contender for the Democrat Party, but I understand it was brought to my attention that Ned Lamont has endorsed Chris Murphy for president. Yep. And hold on, it gets better.
Oh, it does.
Yes.
This I got to hear.
So that Chris Murphy cheated on his wife with an intern, and apparently that woman is the niece of George Soros. and yes, and apparently,
how old was she to be the niece of George Soros?
18 at least.
Oh
18 at least.
I can't see that.
Well,
it's crazy.
Either the niece or related in some way, shape, or form.
But
wait a minute. But so Ned Lamont this go around went into did self-funding. However, I am of the opinion, and I don't know if there's any merit to it, but I would suggest that it might be worth looking into whether Ned Lamont's campaign has also been funded by one George Soros and his son.
Keep that thought for 1 second. I need to bring Irene down for this one because I might have some information I didn't even know.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Go for it. All right. Well, you're going for it.
So this is Friday night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
You're listening to WCFR,
I'm not
Connecticut.
that again.
Yes, Connecticut Free Radio.
All right. All right. All right. I can go with Connecticut Free Radio. And wait, what about your other enterprise? Is that Connecticut Live Streaming?
Connecticut Livecast, yes.
Yes.
WCFR,
Livecast.
WCLC, WCFR, District 4.
All right. So, what's been the latest contribution for CLC?
I think I threw up something, some international piece of news there just recently, but I'm not really doing anything with it right now. I've got like some other irons in the fire. I've been getting requests for my Todd's Point apparel. I haven't put any new material together, and so I got to figure out. It would really be nice to actually have a business partner of some kind to do this with. But anyway, welcome back, Ricky. Are we?
Yeah, no, she's on a call, but she told me the name. So we have my brother-in-law is married to a woman who had gotten divorced. So for him, it's his first marriage.
Yes.
For her, it's her second marriage. She already has children. Her daughter interned for Chris Murphy a couple years ago in DC.
Oh,
but Irene said, don't say the name, whatever you say. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, when you brought that up, I'm like, oh, I'm going to ask her, because she had one opinion going into it. And a couple years later, when I saw all the kids, I call them kids, they're in their 20s.
Yes.
I said, so how'd it go out there in the district of criminals? And she didn't want to talk about it. I went, huh?
There you go. Not as expected. Yep.
And she was all gun ho. Oh yeah, Chris Murphy, I'm going out there. And
right. Ricky, we need to have some kind of live event where we do a live stream, like with the stage. We need to get maybe a couple of bands, and have a venue for everybody, like Democrats, Independents, Republicans, like people who are genuinely concerned about the direction Connecticut is.
I think Connecticut's been long gone after.
You really do?
Yeah, when Grasso was gone, and then where it really took the dive is when what's his stupid
Weicker.
Thank you.
Yep.
He came in as a Republican, and he wasn't going to get the ticket, so he went independent, and they still selected him. And then he put in the income tax. It's going to be 1 year, and here we are, still paying income tax.
Yeah, what a disaster.
Yeah, well, it takes more than income tax to ruin a state.
Well, that was the beginning of it.
Yeah, that was the beginning of it. It's just like we've been Connecticut citizens have just been handpicked to death with, all these different legislative endeavors to, all of these programs, the teachers unions.
Yeah.
And then basically, and they've been growing the state bureaucracies and so
forth. The teachers union is like the second largest thing on the town taxes. It's like there's everybody else, and then education through the roof. It's even higher than just taking care of the town. And it's all going to stop eventually because nobody's going to have any money. And what's going to happen? I wonder if they're just going to force us out by, I don't think property tax is fair at all. I'm being assessed on my house that I know that I paid this value. Now they're saying, well, market value is this, so we're going to tax you on this. Well, my house is not for sale. I'm not planning on moving anytime. So why do you tax me on my house? This is what I paid for it. This is all I should be paying.
Yeah, it's like basically you're paying a subscription fee just to stay in your home.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. My house has been this house and all my properties in Milford but it's gotten out of hand.
Yeah, it's crazy. And if you don't pay, they can take your house and all this kind of stuff. But
who made up that law? Amen.
Man, not a woman.
Okay,
Not a
a human, not God.
Right.
How about that? Does that feel better for everybody if I say it that way?
Well, let me try and finish off Iran so we can forget about this.
I think Iran is just one big gigantic distraction.
I'm going to disagree with you there. And the only reason I say that is because my sense of it, because I've done a little bit more, I've delved, kind of gone down the rabbit hole. I think what, at least to my sense of it, Trump is trying to recalibrate the energy distribution disparity between like the Middle East and America and the rest of the world. And there's a lot of cards in play right now. And I think that, yes, we've talked about, and this was kind of what Jason was bringing up. Was it last night? I think his deep concern was about the ideology of Muslims and so forth, usurping and infiltrating and basically beginning to dominate the West in some senses, which is a genuine concern, and I'll give him that. But I think the other component to this is the energy component as well. So what are we going to do about all of the Muslims that have migrated to the West and particularly to North America? Well, I don't think Canada really stands a snowball's chance in heck, because there's like no will of the people up there at all. They just kind of roll over and do whatever their government tells them to do. And unless they live in some like far off remote area. But that's kind of like why they're trying to get, to go off on I'm going off on a tangent here, but this is kind of why they've been trying to get people out of the rural areas and more into urban areas, because they can control the masses more.
The 15-minute city theory.
What's that?
The 15-minute.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
so-called smart cities. Yes.
Right.
Anyway,
So,
just to make the point about Iran, if we succeed and achieve regime change, that is going to knock out a lot of the attempts to convert America to Islam.
Well, isn't that part of the greater Israel project?
I don't know. I mean, look, I was watching Sean Ryan on Tucker Carlson was earlier today.
Yes.
And he made a very salient point. It's and it's a sentiment that I share. It's like with respect to, looking to people or persons to solve the problems. And he says, like, we got to get beyond that. This whole thing about regime change. Well, if we get a new guy in there, it'll be better. Well, how many times have we done this? How many times have we tried that? And it's always backfired. And we've always regretted it. We tried it in Iraq.
Well, look at Gaddafi.
Well,
he was stopping it all, and they
my point is what difference is it going to make at like from soup to nuts? You spend all of this money, all of this energy, put all those people through all this hell, and it's going to, in 5 or 10 years, it's going to be status quo. So what the hell is the point? There is no point. Like stupid is as stupid does. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Those people over there don't have any desire. They are enveloped in an ideology and in a lifestyle that is antithetical to ours. They will always be that way. They will always perhaps probably see Christendom, among other religions or ideologies, always as a threat. And that everybody needs to be converted to Islam come hell or high water. So it's this idea that we have to do it either by force or through attrition. And it seems like there's been a concerted efforts to do it both ways. And this is why I think Great Britain or the UK is in deep, deep trouble. There is a map about all of the people from respective parts of the globe that have been being, the West is just being
It's called the replacement theory. Is
Yeah,
what you're trying to say.
fine.
Right?
Yeah. If you want to put it that way, sure, that's fine. So, because all of these people who have this, their ideologies and their cultures are so incompatible with the West that your culture just gets completely replaced.
Yeah, the replacement theory. That's
Yeah.
what you're explaining in the long version. I just said,
Are you just saying that we're a bunch of passive blobs? And we
now
can
they
just
want to get
be
rid of the
rolled
white
apart?
race.
I don't think
I know this.
I
You know
don't
the
think
end game. It's so easy to
I
see.
don't think I alluded to the idea that we're passive about it. It's
Well,
just
sure
that
you are. The
we're,
way you're talking about is like we're just going to get replaced. That's it. How about not?
no. That's not what I said. I said
It
that's
is.
what's. It's not what I said, and I would ask you to not
You go back, play
infer that
this,
from what
we'll
I said.
play this later.
Fine,
Back to
fine.
the
You can
40
you can
mark,
do that.
replay this. All right.
I said what is happening is that they are pushing people. I never said anything about us like rolling over. I mean, certainly I said that about Canada because I don't think that they have any. Their culture has been kind of spineless. I think Americans are cut from a different cloth, and I think Americans can and have been making concerted efforts at, trying to thwart the efforts to establish these Muslim enclaves. I think Texas is a primary example of that. I think Michigan is probably, maybe past the point of no return. I don't know, like Dearborn or
Okay.
or whatever.
We're talking about a city. Okay.
So you have communities in urban areas in certain parts of the country that have indeed been usurped by Muslim enclaves. That is a fact. Okay, so the idea that that Americans are just going to sit by and take it, well, in some respects they have, quite frankly. I mean, and that's demonstrably true. But as for the rest of America, and I think that enough Americans are alert to it, and then of course, this is also kind of goes back to the idea of disabusing or the Western, if you want to say Western white culture and Christians who have been, where you have this woke ideology with the LGBT stuff. You have young boys becoming effeminate. They have no desire to be, and then you have single parent homes and so forth. So you have this complete dissolution of our culture, and it's been rotting from within. And and Elon Musk has even talked about this like ad nauseum, that, the birth rate, and particularly in the West, in the Christian West, is not keeping pace with people that are coming in from third world countries. It's just
It's not keeping up because they have it's called the Great Culling. What they're doing is they're stopping the birth rate with their drugs and other things that they got people
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
medicating everybody to death and the whole thing, know.
So, but this is called the Great Culling. If you can look it up, it's there. They tell you how they're going to do it, and a lot of it is they're going to make the general population fall off and die, and the birth rate does not keep up with it. I do believe it's something like I almost want to say 3 million people in the United States die. Okay. They increased it a little bit in 2021, 2022, and currently. And the mixed race thing is another one too. I forgot to get into, but yeah, you have the mixed race, not a pure. I don't know how that plays into this whole charade in this game, but I'll pass it off to you, Eric. Run with that.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I agree that all of those things have been and are taking place, as we speak. And I think part of the is there an end game to this? I don't know. I mean, I'm of the opinion that I think this is a very kind of morbid sort of projection to
No,
me.
it's probably going to be pretty close to what I
But
kind of already know.
I agree with one sort of prophetic vision that I read about, that humanity will probably will probably be completely dissolved, or mostly dissolved, in by the year 2100. So in about another 70 or so years. That's the direction. And then a similar, well, the same person made another prediction that there would be maybe another 1,000 years of darkness. In other words, we would go through another dark ages for 1,000 years. And I see that that's been happening because with, the cancel culture thing, what is it?
Well, I think you're right. This kind of makes
Yeah.
sense with the transhumanism.
Sure.
Okay.
Right. And to the credit of some Christians and like evangelists from the or from that cross section of Christendom, they have been talking about transhumanism and all of that sort of thing. So they've been right about that, and accurate. And I think even some atheists have expressed some concerns, as well about the direction of things.
Think what's happening down here is that they're making us a human soul farm.
Well, I mean, I that may be the goal, but I don't see that that's going to be successful by any
These
means.
last 10 minutes have just been two people who, to me, just sound like it's time to roll over and die.
No, Court. I'm stuck here for 350 years, man. I got to see a whole lot of stuff. I already died twice.
Well, okay, so
we've
identified the problem, but I think, this goes back to the idea
The problem, you've listed 10 or 15 totally unrelated things as problems.
Unrelated to what?
I don't know. Take your pick. I mean, are you gonna equate woke culture as a form of replacement with Muslims taking over?
No.
Well,
it is kind
I
of all connected, Court, but he didn't connect it. He didn't sew it from A to B to C to D. It's kind of like A to L, and then we went to R, and then we went to Z.
Okay. First of all, you can talk
so
about.
There's a lot of pieces missing all in there. That's why I understood exactly everything Eric was talking about.
I understood it too.
On the outside, kind of listening to this, they might have gotten a little lost in the weeds here. Okay.
No, it's lost.
What I see is we have about four, or at least several. We're fighting several different wars. We're fighting wars of ideology, and a host of ideologies that are entirely incompatible with the Christian West. I've outlined them some. I won't bring up that particular ideology, but I would lump like Zionism. I would lump Islam into there. I would lump the LGBTQ stuff, Marxism, any ideology, any ideology that has no component of compassion or love, and there's quite a few of them, is an ideology that is antithetical to the American ethos and the Christian West. Okay, so we're fighting on a lot of different fronts. And then you have this whole thing like, if we're going to exist in this world, because in this world we need things like food, clothing, and then of course
shelter,
and you need and in order to sustain the lifestyles of people in this world, you need industry in some way, shape, or form. And so there's this projection of scarcity, and how do you control people by making them believe that there is scarcity when there probably isn't?
Well, that would be oil.
Right. And then, of course, it comes back to this idea that, well, we own this and you don't own anything, sort of thing. And that kind of fits under the umbrella of, this whole top down or this pyramid style of governance. And we've seen that in ancient Egypt. We've seen it in Babylon. You see it in some religious ideologies. And you've seen it in communism. It's always a top down sort of paradigm.
And every corporation in America.
Yes, absolutely. Right. So that's what the point that I'm making back of all this is that so long as we think that that's the way, that's kind of where we're stuck, that there's no way out. But I am of the opinion that, and this is why Christians are under attack, because the whole component or the ideology of being Christian means self-sufficiency. In other words, everything that you have, everything was in the earth before man even arrived. And so it was here for whatever we needed. And so nobody really owns anything. And I think if
they
we
stole
get to
the
that
trees
point,
and sold you back the fruit. We know.
Right, exactly.
We know all about this. We pollute the water, but we'll clarify it and resell it to you.
And that's why I think Jesus was able to say, my kingdom is not of this world. So long as we follow Christ, we don't have to be afraid of these things. And sometimes I think if you pray, like, a lot of the prophets and the apostles encountered similar sort of paradigms with, tyrannical kingdoms and that sort of thing, or conquest. And, is it true that the prayer of one man can save an entire city? And if that's true, then it behooves us to appeal to that divine rule or order or that divine law that's always in operation. So for me, that's when you've exhausted all human means and ways in terms of trying to correct course or change people's hearts and minds about things, at the end of the day, everybody is solemn and has to appeal to the divine order of the way things are supposed to be, not according to the dictates of what maybe one person or a group of people think it should be. There.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's on a personal note. In the meantime, you still have people who want to kill us.
Well, that's like that in everywhere you go.
Sure.
All right. So no better example than the ring.
Yeah. Like I said, they poison your air. They poison your water. They poison your food.
And they poison your mind.
Yeah, they try to do that too. Yeah. Well, don't you remember? I mean, Court, you read the book, Viktor Frankl's book.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Well, he was talking about being in the concentration camps and so forth, and that's what they would try to do is they would try to break the inmate population by starving them to death, by doing all kinds of cruel things.
Sounds like exactly what's happening over there in Israel, what they're doing to the Palestinians that are in their prisons right now. Sure. Everything you're just saying right now is probably something I've heard that they did to the prisoners.
Those innocent Palestinians have never attacked Israelis.
Yeah, I mean, this is like total barbarism, total like just evil, straight up. Barbaric evil, and people getting.
I've seen people that I wish I
people deriving sick pleasure from seeing it happen too.
Yeah, I know. That's the part that really breaks my heart, and I go, "Oh man, what is wrong with you people?" But
so, should I bring up the video you sent me, Eric?
Go ahead.
Yeah, by all means.
Go ahead, Court. Give me a description of what you saw.
Well, it was not pleasant. So Eric sends me this video, some TikTok influencer who's extremely concerned about the Epstein tapes because he just saw a video clip that was legitimately concerning. And let's try it this way. You're familiar with the word adrenochrome. or adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome.
Yeah.
Right.
That's adrenochrome. What it is what they do is they excite the body and then they extract the blood
All
and then
right.
they drink it. Go ahead.
Right.
I'm sure I already
Well,
know
well,
all
there
about
was there was a video that I also saw of a
Looked like a
uh,
teenage girl
well, right, of
trapped
them
in a chair.
strapped in a chair. Yeah. Go ahead.
inside a water tank, and you
That was
can.
that was filling up.
Yeah. Okay.
You might say she was a little upset.
You think?
Mhm.
This is not my first time hearing or seeing any of this stuff. You guys know about Drazzle drip or whatever
Drazzle.
it
I think
was.
I've heard that term. Remind me.
Hillary Clinton and Huba Bean or whatever her face was. I'm just making up names so I don't get in trouble here.
Mhm.
Cutting off that girl's face under a pizza place, but that's all, hey, that's hearsay. It's just a comedy show. All right.
Jeez. Comedy show.
Oh,
Okay.
it's
So that's
not.
the point. All right. So the point is,
Oh,
all right, yeah. Well, the way you're reacting is kind of the way this guy was reacting, which is to say, he was getting very pissed off at President Trump because he said, you've let this go by. You haven't addressed this. These cruelties that have been committed, you've done nothing about them.
yeah. Well, what's that dude in New York's name? Downey?
Right, Mom Downey.
Mom Downey.
Downey, am I saying the name right? I just want to make sure I get. So he's calling out our little buddy Benjamin Milowski.
What?
Ben Milowski.
Malowski. Can't say
Yeah,
that.
no
Otherwise,
idea
you
who
guys
that
know him as Benjamin net in a Yahoo bottle. Okay.
Yes, okay.
And for crimes against humanity. Did you guys see this yet?
Somebody made a remark. Gosh, maybe 15 years ago. This was in a conversation that I had, but they seem to be of the opinion that the giant big conflict is going to come down between Catholics and Muslims. And I can actually see that happening.
Well, I just think it's going to be the Catholics against everyone.
You do?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because they don't like Jesus.
Catholics don't like Jesus?
No.
For example.
No. Yeah, we need a for example here.
For example. All
Yeah,
right. Let's go. We'll use the Zionists. They don't believe in
now
Jesus.
You're changing the subject.
I'm not. They don't believe in Jesus.
Those are Zionists.
Well, okay, but I think, yeah.
So they're going to come after Catholics. Okay. Then you have, if you want to say Muslims, or okay, I don't know much about the Muslim cult following, but I'll look into it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I do know about Judaism. They don't. Their God is Moloch. So there you go.
Well, I would sort of beg to differ to some extent. I think you have a cross section of Jews that believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then you have perhaps another cross section of Jews that have deviated from that.
You are correct. But right, there are two different ones, and I do have a hard time trying to explain it because they come from the area that you guys all know as Ukraine now.
Oh,
okay.
Who comes? Wait, what?
The bad ones that Eric is talking about.
I know what he's talking about, like, this the pagan component of that particular culture, I guess we could say, which have deviated. And then, of course, I think this was after the destruction of the temple in the 1st century. And what happened was you had the Pharisaical class basically taking control of the Jews in that area and so forth. And then, of course, they follow the writings of the Talmud, which are interpret.
Yeah, that's the ones. You got it, Eric.
Right,
Those are the ones I'm talking about.
Right. So so the reason why a lot of Jews comport to the writings of the Talmud as opposed to actually the Old Testament. So in other words, and there are aspects of the Talmud that are supposedly interpretations of or addendums to things in the Old Testament and so forth. But it is a big deviation from the original, based on what I've read so far, a very large deviation from the writings of Moses and Joseph and or the stories of Joseph and the Pentateuch and the Torah.
You're
all
in
that. All that.
You're in the
Talmud is not in accordance with the Torah.
No, Talmud and the Torah are two completely different things. The Talmud wasn't established until after the destruction of the temple. I think it was it 40 or was it 70 AD? I think it was 70 AD. Yeah, somewhere around there. So you can look into that or look that up, and that will take you down a whole other rabbit hole. But
rabbit holes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll just call it a rabbit hole.
Okay.
But but the book I think a court just acquired, which was the book that I had been encouraging him to read.
Yes.
Basically, the title of the book is "Wide as the Waters," and the thesis of the book is how the translation of the Bible into English gave rise to the American Revolution and so forth.
I think Ricky missed that point.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The wife?
Okay. The wife unit came downstairs.
That's okay.
She's like, "Are you almost done?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll get off in a few." I have
we'll give him back to you in about 5 or 10 minutes here.
They said 5-10 minutes. I was very lovely. I know.
Okay. We're almost done here. We're wrapping it up.
We're wrapping up, hon. You can hear him. He's saying we're wrapping up.
We're going to wrap it up. So you had that. So the book that he's reading, the thesis of the book is how the translation of the Bible into English gave rise to the American Revolution. And then, of course, the focal point, or I guess you could say the protagonist in the book is John Wycliffe, the Roman Catholic priest who wrote the first English translation of the Bible against the wishes of the Vatican and against the Holy See and so on.
Crazy lost the audience there. So while he's doing what he's doing, I want to add that you had made the point that the Book of Revelation has elements of Jewish Kabbalism.
I didn't make that point. I think some people have alluded to that, which is something that I don't agree. I mean, that's one way to interpret it.
It's very logical. I mean, what I realize is very logical because remember, the original translation was from the Hebrew.
Sure.
So there would have been stuff in there.
Well, yes. I mean, and of course, one can make those inferences. And to some degree, some people who have translated it after that fashion have been propagating those ideas. I disagree. I disagree with it because I think that when you read the very first sentence.
Oh God! Look who's coming in!
All right.
So when you read the very first,
that's very good of you.
The very first thing that it says in Revelation, it said, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass, and he sent and signified them by his angel unto his servant. Yeah. And so he goes on to say, "Blessed is he that readeth and understands." So there. To understand something that comes from that is I think the two hardest books to my mind to read and understand are the Genesis 1, the first chapter of Genesis, and then the book of Revelation are arguably probably two of the most difficult books that have been argued over theologically, doctrinally, etc., and so forth. I mean, those books are eternally argued about ad nauseum.
Okay. And again, the original was in Hebrew.
Hebrew, yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, well, they're Greek translations from the Hebrew, but if you read Strong's Exhaustive Concordance with the King James Bible, you get all of the original words and the etymology of the words and stuff. So if you're studying the Bible, you can go online to the Blue Letter Bible, and then you can click on the King James and Strong's, and it will give you every single word in the King James Bible has a number associated with it.
Right.
And it will give you the original transliteration of that word.
The Bible. Yeah. I sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do use the King James, and you're right, because the original Bible, that's what it did. So you read the passage, and then in the original Bible, there was no computer. So you had to go back to refer to, you never knew what the Bible's so confusing. There's all these numbers and blah, blah, blah. But everything that you read, each passage, each scripture, you can go back and find the meaning in the Bible. My father studied the Bible, and yeah, it's just amazing. So
and usually when you see words italicized in the King James Version, they couldn't find a word to connect the sentences. So the italicized words were added to connect, or the entire sentence or the phrase.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what about the Calvinist Bible?
What about it?
Yeah. It had a name. I don't remember.
Well, that was one heck of a yeah there, Court.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, well, no, it predated King James, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and for example, if you read the Wycliffe Bible, so I think it's Luke verse 1, or Luke chapter 1, verse 77, from the Wycliffe Bible, it says, to give his people the science and health for the remission of their sins, right? Now, in the King James Version, it reads, to give his people the knowledge of salvation for the remission of their sins. So the word science comes from the Greek word gnosis, which means to know or understand. And then the other Greek word, which was used for health, is soteria. And that's how that's transliterated. So.
Okay, wow. Well, I don't know. Was something lost in the translation?
Oh, hell to soteria. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. So science is gnosis, the Greek word gnosis, and then health is soteria, Soteria, I believe. That's the English spelling of it, anyway.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta listen more. I'm gonna let him finish. I'm sorry. I'm gonna jump in, and I'm very quiet, but this is educational for me.
He's very quiet. I think Court can probably
I'm not
testify on my behalf. Ladies and gentlemen of the Court, I
Not
present.
so quiet. Not so quiet. No.
I'm polite. And I want to hear. I love hearing biblical stuff, and I heard someone quoting scripture, and I was like, I gotta hear this. But because look what I wear.
Oh, okay. Right on.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's right.
All right. God bless you guys.
Have a great night, Ricky. Go tend to your home, and we will do this.
You know what? I want to hear more of this. I love it.
Don't worry.
I had a final thought before I was about to check off this, but I'm drinking. Stop. I got a long day tomorrow. I got to be up. Listen, I got to be at Restaurant Depot at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, you got to get to bed, dude.
But Hey, look, I'll give myself a shameless plug.
Yes.
I already did it already the other day. I got to do the Sound for Woodmont Day tomorrow, where a whole community comes together, pretty much like what Eric wants to do, where we have a bands and we got pie eating contests and people walking around with their dogs that they get like, hey, look, I dressed my dog up like one of those kids back in the day, Tiara and Toddy's or whatever it was called. Right?
I'd rather dress the dog up as Ned Lamont, but
Right.
But I'm gonna let Eric talk. I
think we can wrap it up for tonight.
Yep.
We've
Yes,
been
we can.
at 1 hour and 10 minutes. So, Court, yeah. So those were good topics of discussion tonight: the Epstein thing and the what's going on in Iran and a whole host of other things.
Didn't get to JD Vance. We'll save him for tomorrow.
Oh, Jay, that's not even his real name.
All right. Well, I will probably not be on tomorrow night.
There's no way I'm going to be on tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to get done with the show till 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So by the time I clean up, it's going to be about 1 in the
back.
morning by the time I get in the truck.
I'll probably be back
Okay.
Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Or actually,
I'm probably in the
Tuesday
same
or
boat
Thursday
as
next
Eric.
week. Yeah. Okay, guys.
All right.
Good
Have a
night,
good night.
everyone.
Nighty night. Don't let the bed bugs bite.